Alright, this video isn't recording. Alright, there it goes. This video is about reality. Reality for me is not what you guys want to assume. Never has been, never will be. Reality is I am in a constant amount of pain. I get disability money, and I pay off some of the debts that I've accumulated over the last 2 years. I got $5 to last me for the rest of the month. And it's the 8th. I don't have a vehicle of my own. I don't have a way of getting a vehicle. I don't have enough income to afford a vehicle. And so I have to pay other people for rides. And that gets pretty expensive. And it's also a bunch of hurry up and wait. So I got to get food here in Chapel. And down at Chapel Superfoods, they're notorious for having a bunch of food that's out of date. And it's all really expensive. So I gotta wait for somebody else to go to Sydney. Hope I can catch a ride. And I never seem to catch a ride. So I end up having to spend more money on food than I have to spend on food. My money needs to be very carefully budgeted, and that's not happening. I have to do everything the most expensive way possible. And that's just stupid. Meanwhile, I get people who I should have had protection orders against years ago still have access to me. My predators still have access to me. See, that was the major issue with Natalie, is that I have had to deal with actual predators in my life. And what her friends are is a bunch of predators. I needed help from the very start because of the term mentally ill. When you were called mentally ill, you need somebody actually in your corner. Were any of these people actually in my corner? No, they weren't willing to speak up for me in public where it mattered. And that's the only place it was going to matter. These people wanted to make empty promises and empty promises and empty promises, and I need help. They're not going to allow me to speak. They're not going to allow me to defend myself. They're going to use the term mentally ill to get away with whatever they want. At this point, that's like calling a black person the N-word. Don't use the term mentally ill, you piece of shit. Obviously, I'm highly intelligent. Obviously, I've got a pretty good fucking bearing on what's going on. But the cops aren't going to listen to me unless they're pressured to do so. The public pressured the police to do bad shit to me. And the bad shit that was happening to me wasn't just from the police, it was also from the public. All over that very same slander from Natalie Bollinger that I never got to defend myself against. Meanwhile, there's the mass quantities of money that have been taken from me, the mass quantities of materials and electronics, much of it containing evidence that was taken from me. There's the number of predators who have gotten away. Now, that right there is the most disgusting part. By calling me mentally ill, all of these predators got away with doing the things that they did, and some of them have killed people since then. all because nobody wanted to listen to somebody they consider mentally ill. See, there are certain things that you can do to a man that'll destroy the rest of his life. And you women, all of you fucking know it. Every fucking girl in America is taught how to destroy a man's life. Every single fucking one. Men are taught that they just have to take it. They just have to take it. They just have to take it. That is so fucked up and that is so goddamn sexist. Kind of like having to hear about how all men are like this, or all men are like that, or all men think with their penis. Meanwhile, I know so many women who think with their vaginas. The women that I hear about complaining about men the most, how all men wanted sex, they're the ones who have the most posts up about number one, wanting sex, and also number two, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Fucking Christ. That is some crazy shit, ain't it? And I get told not to compare my life with others, while others are constantly comparing their lives to mine. They're telling me I'm lucky that this didn't happen or that didn't happen. I'm like, how the fuck would you know? You weren't there. You weren't in my corner. These people were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted to. And you didn't do a goddamn thing. You could have. You could have spoken up. You could have fucking sobered up. That's the biggest issue with most of these folks. I can't make them get sober. I can't make them act like human beings. Those aren't my choices. Those aren't my decisions. With Shannon Alvarado, she's really nice. She is. But she's also an alcoholic. And that's something I got a major issue with. Most of us who have been through hell at the hands of alcoholics. You want me to apologize for being abused? Is that what you're after? Not a fucking chance in hell. You want me to pretend that it's not happening to other people? That's not going to happen either. I'm not going to pretend this shit's only happening to the homeless. I'm not going to pretend that it's only happening to black people. I'm not going to pretend that it never happens to white people. I'm not stupid. I live in the real fucking world. People are victimized every day. I see what criteria it is that people are victimized by. And the first one is looks. You can get away with actually being a junkie if you're pretty. But if you're unattractive, people will treat you like shit just because you look like a junkie, in their opinion. Most of that shit comes from Hollywood. That's probably the biggest issue that I have with white society. Too much Hollywood. Y'all got no fucking clue. You know what I learned from being locked up with a bunch of minorities? I learned that they're people too. In most cases, minorities are more people to me than most of the rest of you. There's a reason for that. Most of the rest of y'all don't know what it's like. You haven't had to live the life. You don't know a goddamn thing, but you think you do. Trying to get the police in this town to do anything about Chris Kurth. I mean, obviously, I've gone to them multiple occasions before. Is there a reason that I'm not turning in these hundreds of threats against my life? Well, let's start with they won't do anything about it. I have to go to officers who are covering up the crimes of other officers. And that's my options for law enforcement around here. Go to the crooked cops that I'm trying to take to court. Meanwhile, I need help to take them to court. A lot of people, they got this great and wonderful idea. Sean, you should sue them. You should sue them. People have been saying that to me for over 2 years. That doesn't get me the help that I need to sue them. It doesn't get me an honest court date. It doesn't get me a real fucking lawyer. It doesn't get me the money to take care of myself. The reality is I can't take care of myself. I need help. And in order to get that help, I got to fill out a whole bunch of fucking paperwork that doesn't make any goddamn difference because I will be denied over and over and over again without help in person. That's the most important thing here is help in person, and nobody gets that. I mean, the emotional help that I need in person. The physical help that I need in person. The computer help that I need in person. I need in-person help. When I was trying to change everything over to live in Colorado, this is right before Natalie was killed. You know, I was jumping through all those hoops that Jeff Ritter told me to, and all the hoops that everybody else wanted me to. And I'm like, you know, I'm running myself ragged trying to make you guys fucking happy. When am I gonna get some actual fucking help? Yeah, sure, I'll fill out your fucking paperwork for your sliding fee fucking scale. All you're doing is fucking scamming the American taxpayers. You're not doing anything. You're just wasting my time. You're wasting my resources. Now I'm wasting my resources to try to get resources that don't actually fucking exist. And you're the people that I'm told to go to for help, and I go to you for help. Oh, that's not what we do. With Jeff Ritter, that's exactly what he did. That exact fucking scenario that I was going to him for help with. That is exactly what his job is. His job is to do that. That's what he gets paid for. And they just let the cops do whatever they wanted. They used every excuse they could not to talk to any of the witnesses. I mean, there are literally hundreds of witnesses that the cops and the fucking FBI and all them other bastards are fucking aware of. And I gotta pull their goddamn teeth to try to get them to do a goddamn thing. And they're never gonna because of the term mentally ill. And somehow that magically makes everything okay. Now, this horse trailer. A lot of people might think it's a waste of time or a waste of money. Well, it's not a waste of anything. It's helpful. It's useful. And although I need to find a place to move it to, I'm glad that I have it. It's mine. If I want to build stuff in here, I can. And although I don't have a way to move it, that's all right for right now. It helps out with my mental health. And that's just as important as my physical health. Especially after what the police did to me. I mean, it's a lot of physical and mental stuff that I got to deal with every day. I have nightmares about the shit that they did to me. I'm not going to pretend that that shit only happened to minorities. Because the fact is, many of those minorities that people are on the news bitching about in Colorado would be alive if I had been heard, if many of the other victims had been heard. But you know what? Most of those victims are homeless. And as we all know, homeless lives don't actually fucking matter. We're not human beings to you guys. We're just animals. A lot of you think we should be put down like animals. I don't see Black Lives Matters doing a goddamn thing about it. The homeless don't matter. Not even black homeless people.